A very good evening to all of you. Welcome to another YouTube live session with me, Surjit Kakar. And today we'll be talking about the lockdown versus trading, and we'll also be talking about that when the markets are very volatile, what should be our approach when it comes to trading. So let's get started. Again, a very good evening to all of you. Myself, Surjit Kakar, and today is Wednesday, 1st of April, 2020. And before we move ahead, let's get done with the formalities. So make sure you people pause the video and go through the disclosure, which talks about the representation, the risk disclosure, about the risk involved in the market, and also about the copyrights. So yes, in today's session, first let's start with what is happening all over the world. In fact, if you look at our country, which is India, we have a nationwide, countrywide lockdown, right? So what is happening is the businesses are closed, the offices are closed. People, whatever their source of income was, that is stopped till 14th of April. That is what is going to happen. So now the question is that if everything is closed, is there any way I can make money in the market, right? And if you look into it, can you see the stock market is the only market which is open as of today. Even if you look at China, right? China also closed their market, but it was only for a week, right? But again, after a week, the markets, they opened. Now, if you look at the news, you will see even the Indian brokers have been requesting SEBI first to close the market because people were having difficulty reaching the offices, but the SEBI did not do it. In some of the states, what they did was they added trading into the essentials so that it's easier for people to commute to their offices. Now, I also saw news that now what they have done is MCX, already the timing has been reduced, the market hours, but they are also requesting the same thing for the stock market, that let's reduce the timing for the stock market so that it's easier for people to reach the office. They are requesting to, I guess, do it from 10 to 2. I guess that is what they are requesting for. Let's see whether it happens or not. But one thing you can see is that yes, a lot of requests are going, but these markets are still not getting closed, right? These markets are still running. And in fact, the SEBI actually put it in some of the states into the essentials so that they don't have to close down the market. So the first thing you can understand from here is that these are the markets, no matter what happens, for the country or for the SEBI to close these markets, it's going to be very, very challenging, right? So this is one market, no matter what happens, this will continue to work, right? This will continue to function. Yes, maybe it might close, but you won't expect it to close for a month or two, or maybe even 2 weeks, maybe for a short period of time to take control of the volatility, or maybe the timings might reduce. Now, a few days back, I did a session where I showed you, because now another thing which people believe is that if the markets are very volatile, you probably can't make money, the trades will not work, you will get stopped out, and that is what is going to happen. So what I did was I did a session a few weeks, probably a few days ago, in which I showed you some of the trades which were planned well in advance and how they played out. Now, the link to that recording is definitely available in the description. You can look into it. But today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some of the screenshots from the POS Plus group, right? So the students who take my course, which is the POS Plus course, we have an exclusive group for them. And what I'll be doing is I'll be sharing some screenshots of, what the students have been interacting. Just to show you that even when everything else is closed, as a trader, you have the opportunity to be into the market, and you can still make some money from that market. Now, one very important thing I'll add before I move forward is that don't expect that that's a magic pill or it's a magic formula that you take the course. It's not just about my course, be that course from anyone or anything you're learning from the internet. Don't expect an overnight miracle. This is something which comes with experience. This is something which takes time, for you to get better and better with it. So it's not a magic pill, but at least you definitely have a market where if you got that skills, you can sit at home, you can make money. And yes, even if the world is locked down, no problem for you. You can be at your home, you can be on your PC, and you can still make money on it. So let me show you some of the screenshots from that group. So I'll show you different dates, right? And we'll see what is the interaction happening. So just give me a second. Let me take a different color. So you can see now this screenshot is from March 25th, right? Now what I've done is I'm hiding the names of the students and also their icons for their privacy reasons, right? But otherwise you can see, on 25th, a student says, this is my first trade. I got 1:1 using the demand and supply methodology. Now, what do you mean by 1:1? 1:1 basically means your reward and risk. So what reward did you get versus the risk you were taking in the market. Now, generally, I don't recommend people to take trades for 1:1s, but yes, what happens is some people might be aggressive, some people might be conservative, some people just want to make, whatever quick bucks they can get from the market. But my recommendation is, even if you want to be aggressive, at least 1.5, anything less than 1.5, you should not be looking into. Now, what do we mean by 1.5? As an example, let's take it in monetary value. If you're taking a risk of, just give me a second, let me change the color so that it's visible. So in case of monetary value, so 1.5:1 will mean that you're looking for a 150 rupee return if you're taking a risk of 100 rupees, right? That is what 1.5:1 would mean. And 1:1 would mean that you made 100 rupees by taking a risk of 100 rupees. 2:1 would mean you made 200 rupees by taking a risk of 100 rupees. Now, it doesn't matter what number you have here. So, example, if you're taking a risk of 1000 rupees, you would be making 2000, and that is what would be a 2:1. Similarly, if you're taking a risk of 1000 rupees, you would have made 1500, that is 1.5:1. Similarly, if you're taking a risk of 10,000, you will be making 20,000, that's a 2:1. And let's say if you're taking a risk of 10,000, you would have made 15k, that is going to be 1.5:1. So that is what this basically denotes, that how much risk did you take to make that kind of money. So whenever we discuss something in the group, I always tell students to discuss it in reward to risk ratio numbers versus in monetary value. Why? Because different people might be having different account sizes, right? So somebody who's making 2:1 might just be making 2000 rupees, but somebody who is, let's say, making 1:1 might still be making 10,000 rupees. So that is where at times people, they might feel a little inferior or something like that, that I'm not making so much money versus what the other person is making. But if you look at your reward to risk ratio, you got a better RR. So we talk in terms of reward to risk ratio. So can you see, got a 1:1. Now this was on 25th. So I'm showing you screenshots from different dates so that you can see consistently students have been trading using the same strategy. So you can see on 26th, also sharing the screenshot, got 1.5:1 on Bank of Baroda. You can see this is now 27th, got 1.5:1. I don't know what script it is, but otherwise if you open the chart, you will get to know what script it was. Again, on this also I achieved the target, which was 1.5:1. So you can see on 25th, on 26th, on 27th, right? I'll share a few more screenshots. Let me do that again. Let's go to the next page. Right, so here also you can see this is 30th, got 3:1, right, got 1.5:1, booked 2:1. This is 31st, got 1.5:1. So you can see that even when the world markets are, I won't say the world market, let's talk about just India. Even when the complete country is in a lockdown, the stock market is still working. And yes, if you have that skill, if you have that knowledge, you can make that money in the market even by sitting at home. Now, one important thing which we'll be which we will be talking about is that how should I be trading when the markets are the way they are as of today? So the answer is very simple. Just give me a second. And that answer is you should be trading exactly the way you have been trading when your markets were probably not that volatile, which means you need to have a system in place, which doesn't matter whether the markets are volatile or the markets are not volatile. It should work in each and every market condition. It's not that when the markets are not volatile, it's a different strategy. When the markets are volatile, it's a different strategy. So the strategy should remain same. It has to be a proven strategy which has worked across the board, any style of trading, any kind of markets. But yes, since the markets are volatile, you will have to take care of the risk in the market, which means you'll have to be extra cautious when it comes to your risk management rules. Example, when the markets are falling like crazy, maybe you might not be interested in taking long trades, that too overnight. Intraday may be allowed, right? But if you're trying to keep it something overnight, you never know, the very next day again the markets might gap down and it might hurt you really bad. So you will have to bring in the risk management part into place. You will have to be a little bit more strict with your risk management, but otherwise overall the way you are identifying trades, the way you are executing trades, the way you are taking trades should not change. And that is what a complete trade plan should be like that. It should not require any modification when it comes to the analysis part, irrespective of the market conditions. And that is what we do in our strategy. The methodology remains exactly the same. Like I said, I did a session few days back. The link is provided in the description. You can go through that session as well. You will see I showed you a lot of examples where the trades were given in advance and how they worked out. Now I'm also showing not examples of the trades which I planned, examples of trades which the students planned, and they're also sharing, how those trades they worked out for them. So again, this market is definitely a market where if you have the skills, you don't have to worry whether there is a lockdown or there is not a lockdown. Majority of the times these markets will continue. Yes, even if they close, it's going to be for a very short period of time. Get those skills. It's whatever your methodology might be, but get those skills. It's not something which is going to happen overnight. Learn it so that you have those skills ready with you, maybe as a secondary source of income, not as your primary source of income over a period of time. Yes, it might also become your primary source of income, but yes, if you have those skills, you have an alternative an alternative market where you can go and you can still make money. So yes, that is what I wanted to talk about in today's session, that no matter what is happening all over the world, the stock markets are still trading, people are still taking trades, people are still making money on it. The lockdown, yes, might be having a very big impact on people who were into investing, because investing and trading are two different things, right? So do not mix investing with trading. These are two different things. As a trader, doesn't matter whether the markets are moving up or the markets are moving down or the markets are in sideways move. We can always plan trades. Yes, the number of opportunities might be less. You might have to compromise with your reward to risk ratios. Yes, you might be getting very few trades, but yes, every other day you might be able to find some trading opportunities and you might be able to make money on it. So yes, now let's quickly look into what do we have in the chat box. So if we have some questions, we'll answer those questions and then we'll end the session. So just give me a minute. So it's just good evening, so I don't have any questions in the chat box. So what we'll be doing is we'll be ending the session today. And again, I'll add that make sure you people are staying home. Don't go out unless and until it is very, very important, maybe for your groceries or something like that. But try to avoid as much as possible. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll again be seeing you very, very soon. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.